recording. All right, so today's date is 4/26/21, and we are learning everything that has to do with circles. Okay, some of you have already maybe have learned this through Alex, which makes my job so much easier. All right, let's make sure you're writing this down. You don't fall behind. Okay, so there are a couple of things we're going to learn today. The first thing are some of the different parts of a circle. Circles have different parts to it, very important parts. So first part of a circle is when we have a dot in the middle and then a line that goes to the edge, to the side of the circle, like so. Okay, when you have this, which is just like cutting the circle in, like just like with half a line, the line doesn't go all the way across. This is what we call a radius. Okay, this line right here, this red line is called the radius. Okay, it shows like the measurement from here to here. Okay, it's a measurement and it's called the radius. Now, sometimes the line goes from one side all the way across to the other side of the circle, kind of like a Pokemon. This shows us the distance from one side of the circle all the way to the other side of the circle. And this is called the diameter. Okay? All the way across is called your diameter. From one edge to the other is called your diameter. If it just goes from the center out, that's your radius. When it goes all the way across, it's called your diameter. Okay? And there is a relationship between these two. The radius is half of your diameter. Radius is half of this, or diameter is double the radius. However you want to think about it. Some people like to divide, some people like to multiply. All right, so here's the relation. Let's practice this relationship. I have a circle, and I'm telling you that the radius is equal to 5 inches. Okay? So if the radius of this circle is 5 inches, and I draw the exact same circle to the best of my ability, I want to know, well, what's the radius of the exact same circle? I'm sorry, what is the diameter of the exact same circle? So the radius is 5 inches, so that's half of the line. So if I drew the whole line like so, what would the diameter equal to for this circle?
10 inches.
Yeah, exactly. Just 10 inches, right? You would take 5 and multiply it by 2 because it's double in size. It's really easy. There's no like really hard math today. You just have to really follow along. So the radius is 5. If I want to know the diameter, we just double it. We multiply it by 2 and we get 10. And that's it. That's it. There's no like tricks to it. Okay, what if I give you another circle and I tell you, oh, the radius for this one is 7 inches. So this radius is 7 inches. Cool. So I want to know, what does the diameter equal of the same circle? So let's pretend these are twins. The radius here is 7. So what would the diameter equal to?
14.
Yeah, that's it. 14. Again, if we're going this way, it would just be 7 times 2. That's it. There is a relationship between diameter and radius. We just have to multiply by 2. But what if I give you the diameter? I give you the diameter of 20, and I want you to go backwards, same circle, but this time I want to know what the radius is. 10, right? So if we're going backwards, if I give you the diameter and we need the radius, you would take the diameter and divide it by 2, and that will give you your radius. So the radius would be 10. All right, so take a moment, copy this down, and take a moment to see the relationship, right? See how these two are related, how we can go from radius to diameter, but we can also go from diameter to radius by just dividing by 2, which is the opposite of multiplying by 2. All right, so this is level 0.00001, okay? This, radius and diameter, okay? 2 parts of the circle that you need to know. All right, the next thing.
That's all we're doing today?
Oh no, this is level 0.00001. I haven't even reached level 1 yet, let alone level 5. This is just basic stuff that you need to know for the 7th grade math. Although this is 7th grade math, but so you'll be like mind blown in a second. All right, the next thing that you need to know before I teach you what I gotta teach you today is pi. Not apple pie, the Greek letter of pi. The Greeks.
Oh, is that like 3.14, that one? Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie. Only for Thanksgiving, though. So pi has an approximate value of, yes, 3.14. We celebrated on March 14th. This would have been a great lesson to teach you on March 14th, but it just didn't fit. So here I am teaching it to you. So it's pronounced pi. This is the symbol, and this is the approximate value, 3.14. Okay? So pi is 3.14. You're going to need that like 1,000 times during this whole week. You're going to be using pi a lot. We use 3.14. All right. So that's level 0.1. Okay? Now we're going to get into the real lesson of today, but I need you to know the other stuff before. So we're going to teach you how to do circumference. Okay? Circumference of a circle. Super big word, maybe new vocabulary, maybe you've heard it, maybe you've seen it. You're like, I didn't know what it was. Well,
it's too hard already.
I know. I mean, look at that. How many letters in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 letters in circumference. All right, but you know what? It's not very hard at all. It's quite easy if you have a calculator. We're going to need a calculator in a couple of minutes. Okay, so I have a circle, right? Let's say this is a shape of a lake, a circle. And I'm going to take a walk around the lake. So I'm just going to go around the lake, all the way around, looking at all the ducks and the fish that are in the lake, all the way around, right? So the fact that I went all the way around the circle, what I did was I did a circumference. The circumference is when you measure around the edge of the circle. We call it perimeter for every other shape. I know you guys done perimeter in elementary school. Perimeter is circumference. But you know, we're super fancy in math, and we just couldn't call this perimeter. We had to call it circumference because we're super special. But circumference is basically the perimeter. What's the distance if we go around the circle? The only reason we call it circumference is because it's a circle, and we can't call it perimeter. Why not? So circumference is when you go around the circle. Like, what's the distance between, if I start here and I walk all the way around, how far did I walk? Measurement. Okay, the formula, to find circumference. Circumference is equal to, C stands for circumference, is equal to pi times diameter. Oh, well, we just learned or reviewed what pi is, and we just learned or reviewed what the diameter is. Well, you're going to take those two numbers and you're going to multiply them together, and then you're done. That's it. It's actually, like I said, pretty easy. So the question is, what is the circumference? Okay, that's usually what they'll ask you. What is circumference? So then you take circle, And I'm going to draw a dot in the middle and a line that kind of goes across through the center. And I'm going to say this is 15 centimeters. I want to know what is the circumference equal to. But before I tell you, or we do the circumference, I want to make sure that you know what the diameter is. Well, the diameter is, does 15 represent my diameter or my radius? It represents
Diameter.
Yes, my diameter. Very good. So we're in good shape. Diameter is 15 centimeters. We're in good shape. Why do I say that? Well, because your formula requires that you use the diameter. And this picture gives you the diameter. So yay us. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute the numbers. Diameter, we know that. That's 15. Times pi. Pi, we know that. That's 3.14. And we're going to solve for circumference. Now, we're going to take our calculator either on your phone, on your iPad. Grab your calculator. Type these two numbers in. 3.14 times 15 equals. So circumference is equal to 47.1 centimeters. Not centimeters squared because it's technically perimeter, so we don't square it. So that's our answer, 47.1. Miss Amelia, how'd you get that? Oh my God, I blinked. And I couldn't listen to you because I was blinking. And every time I blink, I can't hear. So you take pi, 3.14, times your diameter. My diameter was 15 because the line goes all the way across. That's it. That's your answer. That's all.
Yo, this is kind of confusing.
Okay.
Wait, so pi is 3.14?
Yes.
I'm so confused.
So pi was discovered hundreds and hundreds of years by this super cool mathematician that I should know his name, but I don't. He discovered that pi exists. There's a relationship in circles that always come out to 3.14. It's pretty cool. I'll show you a video maybe Wednesday or Friday about it. So there's this relationship, and he realized, like, wait, it's always 3.14. He would always do the math, and it always came out as 3.14. And even hundreds of years later, we realize that pi is 3.14. It always ends up being 3.14. So when you're finding circumference, this is the formula. Okay, in math, we have formulas. We use these formulas to solve for different things. For like,
it was discovered by Archimedes.
There you go.
Of size something.
What year?
Yeah, I don't know. I know she had like a white beard.
Yeah, I mean, hundreds of years. I was just a little girl back then when it was discovered. So
you were alive during that time?
No, I mean I'm old.
It's old.
I am old. Not sure if I could be your parent. I'm up there. Actually, I think I can be. Sure. Let's not talk about depressing things now. My age. No, it's fine. So,
You're 31.
Maybe. Okay. So, Jason, right? Just when you see pi, just use the numbers 3.14. It looks fancy. Just use 3.14. And then the diameter is just the line going across. And that's it. And you're using a calculator. It looks fancy. I mean, if you show your parents, like, hey, Mom, look what I learned. I learned a Greek letter and this and that. You know, you are doing some hard math here, but I'm trying to break it down, and make it a little bit easier. All right, let's try another one. You know, math takes practice. I don't expect you to memorize this in one shot. I expect you to memorize it in 2 shots. Just kidding. So let's say we have a line that goes through the middle, and this one's 5 yards, right? First thing you got to figure out is, like, does this represent the diameter? And you go, yeah, it goes straight across, so the diameter does equal 5 yards. We're in good shape. Because sometimes I trick you and I give you the radius, so you got to be careful. All right, so circumference is equal to pi times d. Whoa, that's a lot of variables right there, right? Hey, we're almost in 8th grade, so we can handle this. Pi will always be 3.14. It will always be 3.14. The diameter is, you look at your circle, it has to go all the way across, is 5. Cool, we'll plug it in. We're going to solve for it. I'm not asking you to do it on paper. I mean, you write it down, and then you go to your calculator. 3.14 times 5. So circumference is equal to 15.7. You just copy it from your calculator, and then you write your units. Yards. And that's it. That's it. This is circumference. Are we okay so far? It looks hard. Yeah. If you just walked in right now, and you looked at this, and you're like, what are they doing? But if you've been with me this whole period, and you're kind of like, we're working with me, you realize like, wait, the diameter is super easy. It's just straight across. And I told you what pi is, and you just plug it in. That's it. Easy. Okay, now let me confuse you.
I like where this is going so, Melanie. I like where we're at the stage right here. I think we can just...
No. I gotta confuse. It's part of my job. Part of my contract says confuse the students. Okay, cool. I will. All right.
Totally break it though.
So let's look at this circle. So how am I going to try to confuse you? I'm going to try to confuse you by giving you actually the radius. This line does not represent my diameter. It represents my radius. Right? But our formula, C equals pi times D, doesn't want the radius. There's no R in here.
Then you double it.
Yeah. So we're going to take 2 and we're going to double it because what it's missing is the other half, right? It's missing the other part of the line. And these lines are even, so we're missing the other 2. Oh, so 2 plus 2, or 2 times 2, is 4. So my diameter is really equal to 4. But why do kids get this wrong? They just look at whatever number is in here and use it. They're just like, oh, cool, I'm going to use that. I'm good. No. Take one step back and realize, like, did I trick you? Did I give you the radius when I was supposed to give you the diameter? And the answer is yes. I try to trick you right here. So just go slow. Just go slow. So this is the number I need, not the 2. So circumference is equal to 3.14 times my diameter of 4. Okay, not 2. Grab that calculator. All right.
You okay?
What was that? So my circumference is equal to 12.5. 12.
She left.
I heard someone say, who was that?
I heard 2 of that. 2 of that. And then I'm like, oh, they're not talking to me. All right, let's trick you with this one. And don't be tricked by, like, the lines can go, like, they rotate. Don't let that confuse you. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is like, okay, I have this line. Does that line represent my radius or my diameter? Oh, it represents my radius. Okay, that's fine, but you're not going to use it. Well, you kind of are using it. What is my diameter equal to? Because this number represents your radius, and I'm looking for your diameter. Looking for your diameter.
It's so, Melanie, you shouldn't tell us you're confusing us. You should just do it. Then
What?
You can see how well we know it.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Just, you know, give you a heads up. I'm trying to confuse you. The worksheet will try to confuse you, but you guys are better than that. So circumference is equal to pi times d. My pi is 3.14. It will always be 3.14. If we have time today or Wednesday or Friday, I'll show you a video of why. I mean, there's no really good video that I've searched for videos for pi day, and there weren't any really good ones. All right, 3.14 times 16. So take those calculators, plug in that number. So circumference is equal to 50.24. Diarrhea, ¿tú crees? Porque eso sí, otro eso es no bueno. Okay, so we're gonna go. So circumference is equal to 50.24.
You forgot the feet.
Oh, feet. Thank you. And don't square it. Okay, don't square it. Only area is squared, and this is not area, this is circumference, which means you're talking about perimeter, right? In elementary school, when life was so easy, you don't have to write this down. You know, the teacher might have asked you, oh, look, here's a triangle, 5, 6, 10. What's the perimeter, right? And you go, oh, the perimeter is equal to 5 plus 6 plus 10. So 22 would be your perimeter. How'd you get that? You just add up all the sides. Remember in elementary school you guys used to do that? Or the square, right?
You have to write this part down?
No. So, you know, you would ask for the perimeter of the square. So you would just walk around, right? You would add up all the sides. Well, that's the same thing when we're talking about circumference. Circumference is if the radius or the diameter is 16 or the radius is 5, and I walked around my circle, how far did I go? Oh, I went 50.24 feet. That's how far I walked if I went around the circle. So circumference is when you walk around the circle. Okay, if I'm going to put it around fence, how much fence do I need? 50.24 feet. That is what we call circumference, walking around the outside of the edge. But because it's a circle, we have a special formula for it. All right, whew, that was fun.